All right, let's talk some Aidan Hutchinson. Let's start off with this play. So he's going to be on the interior here, and part of me wonders if this is just the way Detroit is going to use him as sometimes, on the inside, not just keeping him as a pure edge rusher. Well, listen, it's worked out all right, I would say, in the preseason. I think he's done a good job at this stuff. Right when this play begins, you notice how, so the center was moving towards his left, and since Hutchinson was lined up against the right guard, this means that it is a one-on-one matchup. So Hutchinson trying to find a way to get himself in a position where he can, do some damage. And the way he's going to do that is actually by moving himself closer to the center. There is a little gap there, and that's where he's trying to hit. And watch him really just overpower the guard right there, pushes him all the way back into the quarterback. I don't know, again, this is what's difficult about being someone who has to work the stat book in football. It's how do you really decide who earns the sack there? But the sack was created largely in part because of what Hutchinson was able to do. So right off the bat, good stuff from Hutchinson. It was not perfect. This is an example of not being perfect. Because, again, the reality is an edge rusher or, pass rusher, I guess I should say, since he's not just on the edge, but a defensive lineman loses the majority of your battles. That's just how it works. If you, win a few percent of your battles, you're a great defensive lineman. And so we saw him lose some battles. This one, it's going to be a one-on-one block. And as you see, he's still kind of, his losses can sometimes look just difficult. And that one kind of is one of those, it was a little bit, he made it difficult for the tackle. And at the end of the day, I still do like that, be someone who's hard to play against. That's definitely valuable, but it still is a lost rep, certainly. You have something like this where it's, again, going to be another sort of lost rep, this time going up one-on-one against a right tackle. However, I would still say again, because look, by the second he kind of creates contact, Trubisky's gotten rid of the ball. I think if Trubisky has to hold on to that ball for a little bit longer, there's a chance that he maybe could do something. But again, did get blocked, so there you go. He's not winning every single block, but again, the ball gets rid of quickly, only so much you can do. He had this play, which isn't ideal, where that's where he is on the field, and watch what happens before the ball is snapped. Look, he jumps. That's just straight up what happens. He jumps, creates an offsides, which actually gave the Steelers another chance to convert on the third down, which they then did and ended up scoring 3 points on that drive. So can't let that happen. Can't make those mistakes. Is it a big deal? Absolutely not. These are total nitpicks, but hey, I'm trying to show the good and the bad here. Let's go back to some good, and we'll talk about this play. So what's going to happen here is he's going up one-on-one against the left tackle, and this is going to be in the run defense game. So a lot of what you want to do if you're Hutchinson here, since you are the contain guy, is don't allow the halfback to get to the outside on your side of the field. So towards the top of the screen, don't let him get there and potentially get a ton of yards, right? Because you don't have as much help out there. It obviously varies run concept to run concept, and it varies what the offense is trying to do and all of that good stuff. But in simple terms, basically what you want to do is funnel the halfback up the middle and trust that your teammates there will be able to make the tackle. Right when this play begins, look at how he is just, first off, moves the line of scrimmage back. You see how far back the left tackle has to go to continue to block Hutchinson. So right away, off to a good start. This is what you want to have happen. So if the halfback does try to get to the outside, which he's going to try and do here, not because he, there's a great window there, more so just out of necessity due to the middle section being defended well. But watch what happens. Look, Harris gets over there, but, Hutchinson was going to make a tackle for a loss. He got held, so that's why he wasn't able to. But a great play from Hutchinson to just put himself in position to do that kind of thing. And that's kind of what you like about Hutchinson, is that he's not just I keep saying this because it's true. Hutchinson was a much better run defender than Trayvon Walker was in college. Everyone talked about Trayvon Walker's run defense. Hutchinson was much better in college, and I think will be better, at least right away, in the pros, and I think just period better. There was also this play, which again is going to kind of fall under that if a quarterback gets rid of the football quickly, there's just only so much a pass rusher can do, but still, it is a good play, and all I care about is how Hutchinson is playing. I don't really care about is pressure actually getting there on a preseason game. That'll come when you get enough reps. Something like this, it's a one-on-one matchup against a right tackle, and watch what's going to happen. As you see right when this play begins, so in this situation, okay, one-on-one matchup, isolated, you want to be able to see Hutchinson get some wins here, right? Yes, it is typical that, in a typical one-on-one matchup, you expect the tackle to win the rep, but you still want to see the edge rusher get some wins in there as well. And watch just his hands and the way that he barely gets touched. I mean, he did get kind of pushed behind the quarterback. That's the one thing he had to do, largely due to that's just where he felt like he had to go to get the pressure. But, you know, if that read that Mitchell Trubisky looks towards isn't open and he has to look somewhere else, there's probably a pressure coming. So because of that, I would say this is a very good play from Hutchinson, even if it doesn't even generate a pressure necessarily, certainly doesn't generate a sack. Again, the point of preseason is for guys to get better, for guys to get used to this stuff, and the point of it for me is just to see how well some young players are adjusting at the NFL level. To me, this is a win. So yeah, I was impressed with Aidan Hutchinson, I guess you could say. Again, I'm easily impressed with Aidan Hutchinson because he's very impressive. I didn't think this was an amazing preseason performance. I certainly remembered being more excited after his first preseason performance. He didn't play in game 2. I was already had the game on for game 2, and then it didn't matter because he wasn't playing, so I had to turn it off. But, for this one, again, I thought he showed some nice things, and if this is just who he is, where he's going to, consistently, or at least relatively consistently get wins, that's easily worth a number 2 overall draft pick. I do think that one of the things that is his biggest selling point is the reality that he probably is going to come in right away and be very good. He is, in my opinion, the most pro-ready NFL player out of that draft class. I feel like I say that a lot every time I talk about Hutchinson, but it's true. And so you want to see him come in and have success, and I think for the most part, that's what he did. This time he got beat more than he got beat last time. But again, he still had, if this is who he is, if this performance is who he is, it's a really good game. And I think this is who he is. I think he's someone who's going to be disruptive. And I'm very fascinated by the using him as an interior defensive lineman kind of thing. And it seemed like they did it more on third downs. Again, preseason is weird because maybe they just wanted to get some other guys reps on third downs. Maybe it's like, hey, this is a passing situation, so what we want to do is, have our best pass rushers out there, and if Hutchinson can pass rush from the interior, let's put him in the interior, and let's put, someone else on the edge rush position. Personally, I would just leave him as an edge rusher because that's where he's best at, in my opinion, and you're kind of losing the value a little bit by not having him in the easiest place to rush the passer. But at the same time, who knows if this is actually what the Lions are going to do, because it's all we've seen in preseason, and maybe they just did it for a couple of reps. Again, it's impossible to say. But, again, fascinating stuff. I think Aidan Hutchinson is very good. I know. Hot take, I think the guy who everyone except for the Jaguars thought should have gone first overall, it seemed like, is a very good prospect. He's looked good this preseason. That's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.